Hey, what's up? I'm Muchelleb and I am a person who gets overwhelmed easily. When too much is going on, whether it be around me or just like internally, I basically just retract inwards and can't properly function as a human being. So in this video, I wanted to talk about how I personally cope when I do feel overwhelmed, what kind of things I can do that you guys can also do to just sort of subdue the overwhelm before it gets out of hand. I'm making overwhelm sound like a disease. It is not a disease, but it is a really painful thing to deal with. So the first thing that I do when I'm overwhelmed is I use the 5-5-5 technique. So more often than not, when you're overwhelmed, you basically just distanced yourself from everything around you. You're completely like in your own head. So the technique is all about concentrating on 5 things that you can see, 5 things that you can feel, 5 noises that you can hear, and 5 scents that you can smell. So this isn't about just quickly like listing those things in your head. This is about literally thinking about those things hard, like concentrating on them, getting yourself out of your own head and realizing like, hey, you're in the present moment. I only learned about this technique like semi-recently, but it reminds me a lot of the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which is all about just staying in the present to reduce anxiety and live a generally happier life. So my second tip for when you're feeling overwhelmed is to breathe. If you've ever meditated, done yoga, whatever, you know the importance of breathing on your mental state. When you're overwhelmed or anxious, your breath is like super shallow, which then goes ahead and restricts oxygen to the brain, putting your brain in a fight or flight state, which is not a good state to be in when you're literally just like sitting on your bed thinking about things, feeling overwhelmed. So take a few minutes to literally just breathe. Take big, deep belly breaths in through your nose and then out through your mouth. For just a few minutes, concentrate only on your breath. So the third thing that I might do is write things down. If you're overwhelmed by like a huge task that you need to do or like a heap of mini tasks that you need to do, the best thing that I find is writing a list. Firstly, remember that you are only capable of physically doing one thing at a time. Then go ahead and write out a big list of every single little thing that you have to do, and you need to be breaking it down into baby steps, like baby, so incredibly doable steps. Everything on your list should be so doable that just the thought of ticking it off, like you don't even blink. You're like, yep, I can do that. Prioritize your list and start from the highest priority. The rule here is that you're not allowed to start a new thing until you finish the thing that you're working on. So do one thing at a time and complete that thing in full. So my fourth tip is to identify the stuff that does not help at all and make a game plan. So something that really overwhelms me, shopping centers on my own. I feel like going into a busy ass shopping center, I lose my actual identity. And the time when I am most easily overwhelmed, the morning. If I'm going to the shopping center, I know to go when it is later and when it is less busy. Just think about what triggers you and what game plan you can implement to like not have to deal with that situation and then not have to deal with the overwhelm associated with it. So my fifth tip is self-care. Important in all situations, but especially important if you're a person who gets anxious or overwhelmed easily. When you eat well, you're going to be able to deal with overwhelm a whole lot better. When you exercise, your body is going to be able to handle overwhelm a whole lot better. When you take necessary time out to just do you're going to be able to deal with overwhelm a whole lot better. The more consistently I do all those things, the better I find my mental state is, and the more easily I can calm myself down when I can feel the overwhelm sort of coming on. So those are my 5 tips for dealing with overwhelm, and I hope that this has helped you guys. If you have any tips of your own that you personally use, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on social media and Instagram, and all that stuff is linked down below, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Set goals, have aspirations, always be moving forward. You are in such a privileged position where you can do almost anything within the realm of possibility.